So I've been creating games for about 7 years now, using many different game engines from Scratch to Godot to Roblox Studio and GameMaker. Heck, I've even made games with things that aren't game engines from the get-go, like Python or Java. So safe to say, from what I've just said, I've made quite a lot of games. So saying that this game is the best game I've made and will constantly be updating is quite a bold statement, but I'll tell you why. So if you don't know what the game I'm talking about, it's called Special Operations Retreat or Defeat. It's a top-down shooter in which you fight with waves of enemies in order to get the highest score as well as rewards too. But there's always a but. If you continue and you end up dying, all of your rewards will be lost. So that's why you're given a choice between continuing on to get more rewards or ending the mission and taking your current rewards. So in that way, it's kind of a risk-reward type of game. There's also other elements to the game, so it's not just that, but the basic premise of the game is in the risk-reward part, and I feel like it makes the game very fun because you're pushing your luck to see if you can play just one more round. So this video here is to show you the progress I've made with this game since the start of January, and especially for you to voice your opinions in the comment section below, because I would love to hear what you like and dislike, so I can constantly improve the game. But before I go into my latest improvements, why don't I tell you about how it all began. January 11th, 2025 was a very special day. Also, a very terrifying one. It was just 11 days into the new year, and the enthusiast Dakota was ready for what the new year had to offer. During his 4-week-long holiday, he would pursue a game jam, just like any other game jam, because young the enthusiast Dakota hated being idle. He had to do something. So he entered a game jam, a simple 3-day competition in which he had to code something innovative with a modified and more powerful version of Scratch called Gundy IDE. But little did the enthusiast Dakota know that he would make a very, very big mistake. Okay, I don't think I need to be that dramatic, but basically I entered a 3 or 5 day competition, and I had the plans to make a game in which you're exploring caves and must use various tools in your arsenal to escape the caves. Now, safe to say that the scope was very, very big. I made 15 different levels in which the first 3 levels had become boring. I had made so many items such as a time travel tool that allowed you to go back and forward in time, and that would affect the various levels. And these items or powers were stored in keys which you had to collect through the game. So very quickly it just started getting complicated and difficult to make. I had to make a grid system because it's a puzzle game, and I needed boxes and things to slot in place, but I couldn't even get that to work. The organizers kindly extended the time, but I'd already decided that there was no hope and that I should rather just quit the game jam. With all of my hard work down the drain, because I can easily make this game at a later stage if you guys want. Just tell me in the comment section below and I'll read your comments. Okay, but what does this have to do with special operations? Because there's no wave system and other stuff like that is found in special ops. Well, I'm getting there, okay? Whoever must have said that. Okay, so I didn't actually enter the game jam on the 11th of January. That was the second game jam that I had entered into, after the first one had failed so miserably. That's why I was so scared. So I had seen this awesome game jam that I think you guys should try out. It's a 3-day weekend jam called the Saturday Game Jam, although at the time I had started it, it was just a 1-day competition. And the first time I had attempted to make a game in just 1 day, and the first time the Saturday Game Jam had hosted, and so I had quite a bit of pressure going into this. Like, if I can't make a game in 5 days, how in the world could I make the game in just 1 day, right? It was extremely silly of me, but I was always, as I always say, there's nothing wrong in trying something new. I don't think I've ever said that. Okay? So in just one day, I made what would be known as Special Operations Retreat or Defeat, which is personally one of the most fun games I've ever made, and I'm planning to improve and give to all of you. So in the beginning, I said that I had made many improvements to the game, obviously after the one-day jam, but before I show you the improvements, sorry, just one more thing, how about we play the game? Okay, so it is quite a basic game. I mean, I did make it in just one day. So I had to make some major improvements because I decided that I was going to enter another game competition. And I wouldn't start this competition from scratch. No, I would improve this game and hopefully have an even better end product. And trust me, it's completely fine to do this. I've checked and I'm not cheating. The original game had no user interface because it really wasn't my priority, because remember, I had one day, and even the user interface now is really nothing much. So the UI that has basically stayed the same is the text on the top left corner of the screen, which indicates your health as a bar, your current wave or round, and kills. It also shows how many points you've accumulated, but the new additions was to count how much of two types of currencies there are for the game, which I'll talk about later, that you've also collected. Another new part, which might be a tad bit interesting, is that I added an area on the bottom left corner of the screen which shows your currently selected weapon and the amount of ammunition left. So far the game has only 2 guns, so if you have suggestions for new weapons, they don't have to be guns only, please comment them down below. In the original game, there was no map, unless you can call this insane asylum looking flooring a map, so I decided to design one myself. Oh, and before I forget, a huge thanks to the people who made this asset pack. 99.9876 of the game was made using your asset, and it only makes sense for me to share the link to this wonderful team's page so you can check it out. Okay, so back to what I was saying. I'm not a good designer at all, so my approach was to make the most basic map and hope and pray to God that the gameplay is fun enough to overshadow the poor level design. And hopefully it did, because in reality I just copied the layout of a multiplayer game map. Whoops, was I not meant to mention that? So here's the map in all its glory or ugliness, and I hope you all like it. I'm thinking of adding more maps, but I don't want it to look the exact same as this one. Just one with a different building, so maybe I could create maps with different biomes or even add environmental hazards. Okay, I might be getting too ahead of myself. One thing that I feel adds a lot in making a game look professional and polished is when the game has fantastic menus. Whether it's menus with awesome transitions, or cool animations, or buttons, or a video showing gameplay which quietly plays in the background, all these elements add making the menus pleasing, and then the overall game making it look professional. So have I done that? No, yes, maybe. So I did add a picture or two for some of the various screens like continue and the home screen or the mission complete screen. Although one thing I've learned, especially with my experience making FineFuel HD, is that having eye-catching menus that really make the player stop in awe is quite a skill. For instance, while I was making the title screen for FineFuel HD, I thought it would be cool to add a video that plays in the background if the player is AFK. Then when they come back, it goes back to the static image. I'll tell you now that the only part that worked flawlessly was a static image. And that's what is currently in the demo that you can play now in the link in the description. But to conclude that point, making appealing menus is quite a skill which you can learn from this sponsor, Skillshare. I'm joking. Skillshare did not sponsor this video, although a company that I would love to sponsor me is GameMaker. So please, GameMaker, could you please sponsor me? Okay. In the end, I have some menu ideas which involves parallax scrolling, or that video idea. I'd like to attempt it again, but we'll see. Another thing that can make games professional, or even just above average, is that the game has good sound, or sound at all. The original Special Ops had no sound, and I have now flipped it on its head, and it's so much better. I have gun sounds, collectible sounds, music, and many other things. One thing that I found quite handy dandy from a GameMaker tutorial was that you can actually change the pitch of the gun sound to avoid the sound clip sounding monotonous. Pretty cool, right? It's also simple things which I feel make a large difference in the overall impact that the player experiences. Like, I feel that when you have sound and no sound elements, the game gets bland. But when you slowly add more and more, such as the background music and an enemy indicator and footsteps, it really adds more. However, please remember that adding too many sounds can create distractions, which will deviate from the actual game. Number 5. A shop for buying outfits. Last but certainly not least, the shop. And I've been so excited to make this ever since the Game Jam, when I was actually putting the original game together. I've always wanted to make a shop system in one of my games, and I'm glad that I could do it in this one. Like I mentioned in point 1, the game uses two currencies, coins, which are the standard currency, and SO specials, which are like the gems found in mobile games. Don't worry, you won't have to buy any gems. Oh, not yet. So for now, all you can do is buy outfits made using the same asset pack for everything else. Thank you again. And you can either use the common coins or the rare SO specials. It depends how cool they are. And yes, you can equip them in battle. Later on, I want to expand the shop to have more than just outfits, and I want it to have weapons and power-ups and new maps, etc. The scope can be very large, so I need to just keep it, simple. With all things considered, this game does still have a huge way to go. Like, there is no save system, so when you exit, all your hard work goes poof. Another problem is that there's a few bugs and glitches that I need to iron out, so if you play the game, please tell me what bugs you encounter. Also, one of my biggest goals, besides the shop, one of my big goals, was adding multiplayer, another one of my firsts. I strongly feel like a game of this caliber, see what I did there, would be so much fun if played with friends, even if it's just local multiplayer up to 4 people. If I'm able to make people laugh and have the time of their lives playing my game, that would be the best feeling for a game developer ever. So I'll try add this feature and make it a priority. And with that, I feel like this is a great place to end the video. I always love making videos like this, so please support me and this game of mine by liking, subscribing, and sharing this game with your friends and family to show them that Special Operations Retreat or Defeat is indeed better than Fortnite. The link to version 2 or 1.2 of this game with all of the improvements is in the description below on my itch page. And I'll release a trailer of this game with even more improvements, hopefully to you guys later on sometime. So yeah, see you guys soon.